Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the whole select brothers. Noise in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Oh, shit, hold on. Give me 1 second. Fuck. One second. Salakia. You stay down there. There we go. Salakia. But anyway, this is a quick lesson through the spirit, or in transit through the spirit. Lord's will to be edifying. It's not really a spoiler, but you brothers that may be like into history, I recommend you brothers out there to go see Killers of the Flower Moon. Okay, go see that movie, man. That movie. That movie shows you, when I look at that movie, I look at Edomites in a whole different light of dislike than what I did before. Okay, indignation. Now, everybody know the history of the Osage Indians, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but if you know the history of the Osage Indians and the history of how Esau came in and took over and put them on reservations and stole their wealth and used the families for oil money. It's a very sad story, man, but ultimately it's due to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai showing discontent. Damn, everybody's having accidents, judgment. You know, everybody's on the fucking phone and shit. And let me not bring jinx, you know, because clearly, you know, it's people driving nuts. It's wet out here. But anyway, if you look up the history of the Osage Indians, as you know, the Osage Indians dealing within the realms of the Ozarks, which the Ozark Mountains harbors between 4 states, which is Missouri, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Arkansas. Look up the Ozark Mountains or the Ozark Peninsula, and you will find that these 4 states harbors the Ozark Mountains, which was heavy with Choctaw, Cherokee, and the particular Indian tribes. Kansas Indians, which is Kansas, which is pronounced Kansas, Indian tribes, which was pretty much taken down by Esau Edom, man. And it was really the movie really pissed me off. But then again, it showed the simplicity on our people, how he poisoned our people, how he's giving them over to things that they wasn't used to, and they succumbed to it, man. They show how the insulin came about, how it was used to keep Gadites hooked on their diabetes, and it was just a shit show, man, you know. But out of all that, you had the Gadite woman, the Native American woman. This is one thing I can't stand about you, Israelite woman. The main woman of that movie, I mean, it was very spiritual, because she was, you know, she had a very, very intuitive spirit, meaning she was in tune with whatever spirits and deities she was praying to, which ultimately they believe in the Most High, but they went off. You know, they went off into worshiping idols and different guys. And if you watch that movie, Apocalypto, it pretty much shows you the state that the Northern Kingdom was in before the conquistadors came over here, which was really the Most High visiting them. Now, the movie is 3 hours and 25 minutes long, but it's very worth it. It keeps you engaged, you know, and it's a very, very sad story, but it really pisses you off, man. I mean, it was to the point that this guy, William Hell, or Bill K. Hell, which was a Freemason, and they even showed that in the movie, how these particular slave owners and how these Masons came in and they so-called founded America, which they stole it, by the way. And they show how these men use left-hand rituals and means in order to seduce God, which we know Esau Edom, he deals with witchcraft. He deals with wickedness and principalities in high places, man. And when you see that movie and you look at everything around you, this is a fucking result of it, man. Conquering and pillaging and poisoning and murdering people. They murdered Gad in cold blood, man, and did it with a fucking smile on their face, man, because William K. Hell was so goddamn, he was so crafty with the shit by him being a deputy sheriff over that particular province. It's to the point he really convinced Gad that he was really with him. But you had a few sects of Gadites that knew. He said, wait a minute, ever since these white men came over here, we've been getting sick, we've been dying of poison, we've gotten diseases that we can't even spell, you know? And we're dying. So they said it's a common problem. He said years ago we would have fought against these enemies and put them to death, but now we have these particular laws set up that we can't even really defend our lands. And when you look at America, like all this, right, in Missouri, all this was straight beautiful. It was all land, it was all, you know, woods and trees and everything like that. But now what you got? A fucking concrete jungle. You got Metropolis is set up in the middle of what used to be paradises, man. That Gad and Reuben, okay, Issachar, they've all had access to. Now look at it. Baymont Inn Hotel. You got storage marts. You got factories, man. And it's a damn shame, you know. Let me turn the camera real quick. And it's a sad ordeal, man. Okay, it's sad, man, and it really pisses you off because it shows you how simple our people is. Like one of the main women, all the women, they were seduced by Edomites, man. Okay, and majority of the Gadite women, they knew that Esau was over there to destroy them. You know, like one of the sisters was like, man, he just wants our money and they want to kill us. And the main chick knew that. She said, yeah, I know all this, but you know, he's cute, he's this, he that, and he's this, which shows you the mindset of the Israelite woman, man. You know, and it was really Yahweh Shai putting that curse on Jake, okay, to pretty much bow down to their enemies. But this is still the thing today, because when you look at Israelite women, especially you fucking Gadite women, man, you Gadite women are some of the most naive, docile women out there, okay? You claim to be these spiritual people, but yeah, you love fucking Esau. And that's one thing, brothers, about Gadite women. These Gadite women love, these Native Americans, they love the so-called white man. And a lot of them want to be fucking white, man. You know, I've dealt with that shit before, man. Like, if the motherfucker ain't trying to deal with an Edomite, they're trying to act like the Edomite woman, man. You know? And then they shit on their own people and look down on their own people. But yet, they love Esau, man. The men that's poisoned you, the men that took your land from you. But you give your own men and your own tribes, you give them shit. And Gad, man, they went outside. They was ambushing Gad, man. And the main chick that got married to Leonardo DiCaprio, which I know he's a Jake in real life. He got to be, I think he's a Judite. He's got to be a Jake, man. Because find out that movie was supposed to be centered around a documentary, but I believe it was through the creative talent of Leonardo DiCaprio, which he's a Jake. His father's Sicilian. When I see him acting like an Edomite in a movie, I feel like he don't really do it justice, man. I feel like it's forced. Same thing in Django. I just couldn't take him acting like an Edomite very serious, because Leonardo, he got that spaz to him, man, like a Jake, you know? And you just got to be in the spirit to know that. But regardless of that, it was supposed to be like a documentary, but because of Leonardo DiCaprio, he's like, nah, we need to shed light on this. We need to make this be known, okay? And that's the Lord using that tongue to fall upon them. Because that's a righteous spirit to want to expose everything that Esau Edom is doing. And the fact that you Edomites out there, you have to sit and you have to be condemned in your own king. You have to sit through movies that shows your bloody history. Okay, like the scriptures goes, it's a shameful spewing on thy glory. Hey, the mother nations brought it out years ago. They said only thing you fucking Americans do, or you white Edomites do, is gloat in your slavery and your Confederate statutes. You know, and you gloat in that. And when you look at the movie and you look around, there's nothing but Edomites in the movie theater. In the back of their mind, they're like, man, we got to pay for this, man. And they got to pay for it because the Lord said he requires that which is past. You know, and when I was in the washroom yesterday after me and the brother left the movie, you know, I went to the washroom and I was talking to the brother and shit. Then, you know, me and him was just dialecting. I'm like, yeah, they know they got a harsh judgment coming and they know they got to pay for it. Edomite was in there and he laughed, man. He had to laugh at it because he know in his spirit that there's going to be a recompense, man. You know, because, hey, the Lord don't let anything go unaccounted for. And the fact that you took the land from our people, you got a lot to pay for. Because when you look at Gad, man, they was very serene, even though they were going off, you know, they were worshiping idols, but they still had that peculiar nature about them. Like the main chick, you could tell she had the spirit of a princess, man. She was very modest. She didn't speak a lot. She was spiritual. You know what I'm saying? She was just very soft-spoken and quiet, and she had that submissive role to her. Even though she knew this nigga Leo was the devil, she still submitted to him, man. She still knew that there may be some type of humane in him, but what she found out was like, nah, this nigga ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And you got to watch the end of the movie to know what happens. But regardless of that, man, you know, our people was very serene, you know, very tranquil, very humble. in peace and harmony. You know, even though they were going off, they were just, you know, they was left alone. Like it tells you, I believe it's in what is it? Additions to Esther, the 13th chapter. It says that these people have strange laws and that they oppose the laws of the heathens to establish their own right towards their power. When you look at Gad, it is different. And this is why we're such a peculiar people, because when you look at us and you look at our history and how the Lord set us up as a peculiar nation, you can see why the other nations envy that. And this is why they tried so hard to keep us away from that. Because when you look at Jake today, like the common Negro man, and you compare it to him what we were during the time of Solomon, it's total night and day. It's to the point like you can't even look at our people and know they're Israelites outside of the talent and outside of the hell they're catching. But as far as righteousness and being peculiar, you can't really see that in them because it's been taken from us, man. You know, like the scriptures say that the other nations should wag their head, their hands and fan their hands and wag their heads at you. Roughly paraphrasing the Psalms 44th chapter, when King David said we should be a shaking of the hand and a proverb and a byword among the people. When people look at you, Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they don't see nothing good in you, man. Okay? But back in the ancient world, people knew you were the chosen people of the Most High. Just from the garbs we were, from the ways we decked ourselves, the very different laws, man. The laws, man, our nation was so we were so decked out to the point it was like, God damn, how the hell did we fall this far? Okay, like in Lamentations 4, it says, how have the sons of Zion, which was steamed as fine gold, become earthen pitchers, man? It's like, God damn. And even when you look at Gad and that folly, they still had a real crisp cleanness about them. Okay, even though they had their little prayers and they did their little powwows and stuff, which Jake always did things like that, but they converted over to heathenism. But nonetheless, it was still a holy presence to him, man. It was still a peculiar to him. We were separated, man. You know, and that movie, it really will upset you, Jakes, man, and it will make you mad at these Gadites too, because it's like, what the fuck was all the men at when this shit was happening? But you have to understand that a lot of men were killed off, a lot of them were ambushed, a lot of them were on alcohol. They showed the fact that they gave these men alcohol. They gave this nigga, they gave him some I don't think it was insulin, but they gave him like some type of insulin, or they gave him something for his depression, and he told him to drown that shit down with whiskey. He said, take this with whiskey and it's gonna make all your problems go away, man. I'm like, wow. Okay, so for 3 hours and 25 minutes, Esau showed he was the devil every minute of that movie, man. You know, and I encourage you brothers out there to go watch it. Very good movie. I give that movie like an 8.5 out of 10. You know, because it's the truth. They shedding light on it. But what I didn't like is the fact how the U.S. government tried to separate themselves from William Hill when the Freemasons are the U.S. government. And basically what was happening was that these Edomites were just capitalizing off each other, man. Okay, the same thing that William Hill did and those other Edomites did to Gad, it's the same thing that the U.S. government was going to do. They just see other Edomites and they capitalize off their success. They take them down and then they do the same shit, because it's like when the U.S. government came in and allegedly gave these people justice. Okay, well, look at the cities today. So obviously it wasn't too much justice, because if you really gave a shit about the Native Americans and the Taino Indians and the Seminole Indians, you would have this shit right here. Okay, this is a result of Conquerage being pillaged, man. And then the U.S. government comes in and plays some fucking hero, when the fact that it wasn't just the Kansa or the Osage tribes that was getting fucking beat down, man. You had the Seminole tribes of Florida. Okay, you had the Arawak Indians, you had the Taino Indian. All these were persecutions of victims of Esau's persecution, man. Okay, so if the U.S. government was so righteous, they never would have built none of this shit up, because all this shit is built up on the backs of slaves, man. They even mentioned Tulsa, Oklahoma, man, when Jake was actually in the process of prospering and living wealthy, and then bam, they took us down, man. Okay, and they also showed you that Gad was very rich in buffalo, in land. And what happened? You had a few sellout Gadites. You know, even during the time that Jake was prospering doing Tulsa, Oklahoma, you had Gadites that was, all the tribes were prospering at that time, man. You know, because I believe it's a scripture in Revelation when it tells us that we should go to the wilderness and be nourished for a time, times and a half a time. Jake was doing good for a minute, man. And then what happened? They allowed Esau to come in. you know, and he broke every peace treaty with them, and this is the fucking result of it. Highways, fucking factories, man, pillaging governments. And before you know it, this is what you have, the United States of America, which is a corporation. So them trying to play hero at the end of the movie, hey, they the ones that set up Bill Hell, because he was a Freemason, and the U.S. government, they Freemasons, man. Okay, so it wasn't any division among them. They just capitalized off each other. And this is all a game. Like when you see Edomites at odds with each other, which shows you how cutthroat Esau is, he capitalizes off his own people, and then he kills the opposition just so he can go and do the same thing on a bigger scale. Okay, William Hell did that shit on a local scale, but the U.S. government came in and did it on a broader scale, because it was really the U.S. government, okay, and the cavalry that came and wiped Gad out, man. Yeah, it's called Killers. Look at the title, Walk. It's called Killers of the Flower Moon. It's a movie with, directed by Martin Sorceries. That's starring Leonardo DiCaprio. It got Robert De Niro in it, and he did a damn good job, man. And I know Robert De Niro is a Jake, but I ain't gonna lie, man. He played that devil. He if y'all brothers ever seen Goodfellas, man, like the head dude on the Paulie, I forgot his name, but the one that was trying to get Henry whacked, he had that snake spirit on him in this one, man. I mean, he played a real devil. I'm like, goddamn. They picked a Sicilian dude to play a devil, you know, but he did a good job. But still, man, that movie, it'll piss you brothers off, man. And I'm sure brothers are gonna do reviews on it, you know, and speak on it, because this information has to come out, because this is a common thing among our people, being put down by the so-called white man, you know. Revelation 11:18, it says, and the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and thou should give us reward unto the service the prophets, man. Come, brother. You know, because we're bringing out this information, and we're speaking in existence, and we're telling what it is according to the scriptures. You know, and the dead is the mother nations, man. So their judgment is coming, and Esau knows his judgment is coming, because if you got to sit in them, I wish we would watch a movie in our kingdom that shows, you know, that condemns us, man, and to the point we got to get fucked up. Now, you know, Jake will have their head down for the wickedness they done on this side, but overall, no heathens is gonna clown Jake, man. But yet we get to clown Esau in his own movie theater and speak about it, because, hey, everything you're doing is coming back to bite you in the ass, bro. Okay? The Lord said, hey, would you render me a recompense? But surely and swiftly I will return your recompense upon your own head. So yeah, how about Shemi Hawashai got your number, man? He's basically made you the bad guy in your own fucking movie. In your own setup, you're the bad guy, man. You know? So, hey. But anyway, man, that's pretty much it. Didn't want to give too much of a spoiler. Just a recommendation for you brothers out there. It's called Killers of the Flower Moon. You know, make sure y'all go watch the movie, you know, whenever it comes out or whatever, you know, check it out. It's a very good movie. It's worth the money. It's good history. And look up the Bill K. Hell and the massacre of the Osage Indians, man. And that's all the history you need to know, and it's going to tell you everything you need to know. But it was a damn good movie, man, you know. So, hey, with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash. And with that, Shalom.